Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings for Monday, September 10th. We have a 10-game slate tonight on Monday. Real quickly, before we look at this slate, just want to let you guys know, Monday morning I plan on making a video where I talk about the NFL slate on Sunday. I'm recording this Sunday night. That video should be out Monday morning. Probably around the time you're watching this, that video might be out if you're watching this on Monday. I'm going to talk about the Week 1 slate, just review the slate, talk about my lineups, where I was right and where I was wrong. I did do this last year. I plan on doing it again this year, just every Monday morning, sort of doing a review of the past week, talking about my lineups, maybe even look ahead to the next week. That video should be out around 11 or 12 Eastern Time on Monday, so be sure to check that out. Would really appreciate it. Also do want to start making some videos on like the primetime slates and maybe the showdown slates, because I am probably going to be playing those just throughout the NFL season. I wasn't able to get any out for this week, but I might try and get some out for next week's slate. Would appreciate if you guys would check that out. Let me know down in the comments if you would be interested in those. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at Monday's MLB slate. Still going to be grinding out MLB, especially on days where we don't have NFL. I'm going to be playing MLB. Same goes for when NBA starts. When there's no NFL Monday through Friday, or at least Tuesday through Friday, whatever, I'll be playing NBA, making videos during those days as well. But yeah, looking at this MLB slate for Monday, we have two pitchers over 10K. We got Jacob deGrom facing the Marlins and Corey Kluber against the Rays. I love deGrom here. He's just such a good play today against the Marlins. I know he's very expensive. He's 13.5 on DraftKings. A lot of salary invested in deGrom, but the dude's just been so good. He's mowing down teams, getting a ton of strikeouts. He's gotten at least 10 strikeouts in 2 of his last 4 games, had 9 Ks against the Phillies. Tough matchup against the Dodgers, still managed to get 6 Ks. This is not a tough matchup. Probably one of the better matchups in the league against the Marlins. Really surprising, deGrom has somewhat struggled against the Marlins this year. I don't expect him to struggle here. This Marlins lineup is just so bad. It's not a good lineup. There's strikeouts here for deGrom to get. He could easily be the high-scoring pitcher. Obviously, that's very likely. But he could easily get 35, 40 DraftKings points. Really, just, you got to have him on this slate, I feel like. I don't love any of the expensive bats. Like, there's a Coors game today, but you got 2 pretty good pitchers pitching in Coors. You got Godley and Marquez, who have really been good lately, pitching in Coors. I don't think we really have to have, like, Coors bats today. You could definitely find some value bats so you can fit in deGrom. And I think deGrom's easily going to mow down this team. Prefer him over Kluber. Kluber's cheaper. He's actually a lot cheaper, but Kluber just hasn't been the same lately. Until we see Kluber really get back to his form, I don't know if I want to pay at least 10K or above for him. He has been good as of late. It just his last 2 games, especially in his last start against the Royals, looked pretty good with 10 Ks through 6 2/3 innings. Did have 33 DK points the start before that against the Rays, where he went 7 innings with 8 Ks, allowed just 2 hits. But I think I'd prefer deGrom here. I'll probably be playing multiple tournament lineups, and I'll have some Kluber, but I'll be heavier on deGrom than I do Kluber, just because deGrom's I just feel like he can just mow this Marlins team down. deGrom could easily pitch a complete game here. I would not be surprised. I love him at 13.5. There's value at pitcher that I like today, so I can easily fit deGrom in with some bats I want. So looking for the value, we just got to scroll all the way down here. There's a cheap play I like. It will be interesting to see how popular this guy is. But Lucas Giolito at 4,700. I have interest in today. Giolito's a guy I've been picking on just throughout this year, especially in the past. I've picked on Giolito a lot. But this is a spot for him where he can definitely return value. Against the Royals at 4,700, Giolito can easily get me 15 to 20 DraftKings points today. At 4,700, that's obviously crushing value. I know Giolito was chalk in his last start against the Tigers. He was pretty cheap, and he got absolutely destroyed by the Tigers. Maybe people will get off of him here. With the price decrease, with the matchup, I just think Giolito makes a ton of sense. If you still want to pay for bats and you want to play deGrom, then Giolito is probably the way you got to go. Just because of his price, even if he gets like 10 DraftKings points, that's honestly good enough at 4,700. So I like Giolito as a cheap option. If you want a safer play, you can find the salary. I would say go up to Newcomb, who is 7,300, pitching against the Giants in AT&T Park, great pitcher's park. Newcomb might be a safer play than Giolito. But for tournaments, I do like going down to Giolito just because he's so cheap. He allows you to pay up for the bats you want. Newcomb might be the safer option, like in cash games. But Giolito as a GPP play, really like that. But other pitchers besides Giolito and Newcomb that we could consider, Jake Arrieta is really cheap, and it looks like the Nationals are going to be rolling out a pretty bad lineup here. Doesn't look like Trey Turner is going to be in this lineup. Looks like they're going to be missing somebody else who I can't point out. But definitely seeing no Trey Turner at the top, Adam Eaton as well is not in the projected lineup. The Nationals probably just throwing in the towel, honestly, at this point in the season. So like guys like Victor Robles, Sanchez, we might see these guys in the lineup a lot. The Nationals might be a team we could pick on with opposing pitchers. But Arrieta, I don't know if he's the guy I really want to play, just because Arrieta has not been good this year. He's been inconsistent. You can get up to Newcomb, who's just a guy I feel a lot safer in, or you could save $2,000 and go down to Giolito. So I might shy away from Arrieta here. But picking on the Nationals with opposing pitchers might be something we do later on in the year. Other pitcher plays we could possibly consider, maybe Jacob Junis against the White Sox, just because the White Sox strike out so much. You could possibly consider Junis here. German Marquez has been great this year, even in cores. I don't mind German Marquez today. He might actually be somewhat high owned because Marquez is not a 9K pitcher. At least as of late, this guy has not been pitching like a 9K pitcher. He's been racking up strikeouts, been great for fantasy, been very consistent. I know the Diamondbacks have hit him somewhat hard, at least in Coors Field this year, but Marquez has really turned things around as of late, and he could be a guy that I would definitely use today. I'm probably not going to be stacking the Diamondbacks, not going to be too heavy on them. Do like Marquez at 9K. Him and DeGrom are probably going to be two of the pitchers I have some of the most exposure to today, and obviously Giolito, Newcomb are probably going to be the two value guys I used to pair with them. But let's go ahead and talk about the bats. I love Marquez today, but also don't mind playing Paul Goldschmidt here because Goldschmidt, this guy just rakes when he's in Coors Field. He's crushed against Marquez in the past. We look at the BVP. I know BVP is not like the end-all be-all, but Goldschmidt has gone 9 for 20, 6 extra base hits, 4 home runs versus Marquez. Just hit him really well. Like I said, every time Goldschmidt is in Coors, the guy just crushes. I don't have like his track record in Coors, but I know it's really, really good. The power just is there for Goldschmidt in Coors Field. That obviously helps. Do like paying up for Goldschmidt. 5,300 is pretty cheap for him. With how good Marquez has been lately, you are getting some cheap prices on the Diamondbacks. But like I said, I'm not going to be stacking the Diamondbacks. I do like Paul Goldschmidt, though, as a one-off at 5,300. And then my next play, going to go to the outfield. Really like Ryan Braun today. 4K against John Lester. Love this matchup for Ryan Braun. John Lester is not a pitcher I believe in. I stack against him pretty much every start he's on the mound just because I don't believe in Lester. I want to play righties against him. Lorenzo Cain, Aguilar, Braun. If we get Hernan Perez in this lineup, those are some guys I really like today, especially Ryan Braun, because Braun has some speed. You can steal off of Lester. He's been improving lately when it comes to the stolen bases, but Lester's still a guy you can run on, and Braun does have some speed. He's also gone 8 for 18, 3 extra base hits versus John Lester. Just really like Ryan Braun here. It seems like he's always too cheap when he faces a lefty, and Ryan Braun is a guy that mashes left-handed pitching. So 4K in the outfield, really like him. And then final play, value play in the outfield is Jay Bruce. Jay Bruce is a guy I also have a ton of interest in today. Right now, DraftKings has Urena pitching for the Marlins, but Fantasy Labs and I believe MLB.com has Jeff Brigham. So if it is Jeff Brigham, I really like some of these Mets bats today, and I like Jay Bruce because Brigham did not look good in his debut for the Marlins. Just wasn't really getting any strikeouts, allowed a ton of hits, was walking batters. I think this Mets stack could actually be pretty interesting today, especially Jay Bruce, who has been crushing the ball lately. Just been great for fantasy as of late, and he's still dirt cheap at 3,800. If he's batting fourth, third, the top of that lineup, I have a lot of interest in him today as a value option in the outfield. So these are my 5 plays for today, guys. Jacob deGrom, Lucas Giolito, Paul Goldschmidt, Ryan Braun, and Jay Bruce. Now we'll go ahead and move on to stacks for today. My favorite stack on this slate, I would probably say it's honestly the Brewers. I feel like I'm going to have a lot of interest in the Brewers today. I'm going to have a lot of exposure to them. Also, really like the Mets if it's going to be Brigham pitching for the Marlins. I think this Mets stack, especially with the price tags of these guys, very good stack to go to. The Brewers, the Mets, two teams I have a lot of interest in. You could look to Coors Field, but I don't think I'm going to be going there. If I was to pick one team to stack, it would definitely be the Rockies. Just because Godley does throw the curveball a lot. Obviously, the curveball in that altitude at Coors Field doesn't work as good, just doesn't break as much. You could possibly stack the Rockies. Don't know if I'll be doing that a ton today. But the Rockies would be my preferred side of the Coors Field game. Maybe the White Sox just because they've got some cheap bats in their lineup. We know Junis struggles with some home runs, especially to righties. So if Abreu's back in the lineup, you could play him. Avisel Garcia has been hitting the ball well lately. you could possibly play him at 3,900. But don't know if I'll be full stacking the White Sox today. It's mainly the Brewers and the Mets, the two teams I really like on the slate, and the Rockies you could also go to as well. But now moving on to BVP, and looking at BVP plays on this 10-game slate, starting up top with Trey Turner. He's gone 3 for 10 with a home run versus Arrieta, and Mark Reynolds 9 for 22 with a home run versus Arrieta. Kevin Kiermaier 3 for 11 off of Kluber. I mentioned bronze BVP. Curtis Granderson 15 for 51, 3 home runs versus John Lester. Logan Forsythe 7 for 22 with a home run versus J.A. Happ. Brett Gardner 4 for 11 versus Kyle Gibson. Josh Harrison 11 for 29 with a home run versus Adam Wainwright. A lot of Cardinals have hit Trevor Williams well. Paul DeJong 4 for 10 with a home run. Jose Martinez 6 for 15. Matt Carpenter, great BVP versus Trevor Williams, 7 for 16 with 3 home runs. Marcell Ozuna 4 for 10, and Greg Garcia 7 for 13. AJ Pollock gone 8 for 13 versus Marquez. Goldschmidt really hit Marquez well. Mentioned that BVP earlier, 9 for 20 with 4 home runs. Ketel Marte 5 for 15 with a home run, and David Peralta 10 for 23 with a home run. Charlie Blackmon 4 for 11 with a home run versus Godley, and Gerardo Parra also gone 4 for 11 versus Godley. And lastly, Shin-Soo Choo gone 4 for 11 versus Jaime Barria. So that's it for BVP. That's it for stacks. I think that is it for the video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy the video, and hopefully it did help you. If you did enjoy, just make sure you click that like button before you get out of here. I would really appreciate it. If you are new to the channel, if you have not subscribed yet, make sure you click that subscribe button down below. And like I did say at the beginning, if you want to check out that Week 1 review and look ahead for the Week 2 slate, make sure you check that video out. Should be up somewhat around noon on Monday. Would really appreciate it if you would give that video a like. Leave some feedback on that video, guys, as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. Would really appreciate it. But yeah, good luck to you guys playing the slate tonight, and good luck to those playing NFL on Monday. Peace.